all different types of pictures.
Pie.
Okay, that's the second word is yes.
Pie, okay.
And the first one is totally different meaning. How would you describe yourself when it comes to material things? You are...
I'm not. Extra?
No.
Elegance?
When you're not about material things, you are...
I'm not, guys. This is why I don't know what she's talking about. She's describing me perfectly. I just don't know what she's talking about. Pass! I don't fucking know. Come on.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Michael, aka So Smooth, and I am here to tell you guys today about some misconceptions that women have when it comes to looking for a man to have a relationship with. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1, looks. We all knew this one was going to be here, so let's just go ahead and get it out the way. Ladies, guys care more about your looks than they do about your college degree, than about how much money you make, than about just about anything you can achieve. This is biology. This is biological. We're just going to go ahead. We can't expect men to just change this. This isn't something that you control. You control what you're physically attracted to. So ladies, let's not let all these women who don't mean us any good, let's not let them tell us, oh, men are just pigs. Men just need to change what they're attracted to. No, let's not do that. How about we want the men, right? If you're out and you're looking for the men, you're going to have to conform to the man and what their desires are. And I understand men usually chase women, but when it comes time for a man to say, hey, will you marry me? Or hey, will you move in with me? Or hey, will you be with me long term? It's up to that man to decide. And if you're just an obstacle the entire time, you're probably not going to get asked that question. I know a lot of women who don't know why they're single, but when a guy says, hey, you should grow your hair out, or hey, I don't like that nose piercing, they get really upset. And they say, well, somebody likes it, and that's fine. It really is. No guy really has a problem with that. But a lot of them are still looking for the guy who doesn't have a problem with that. And usually when they do find a guy who doesn't have a problem with that, who likes them for them, this is something they'd like to say, who likes me for me, the guy isn't as good as the guy that they could have just changed something so light for. You could have grew your hair out. You could have gotten rid of the nose ring. But women have been tricked into this whole, a person has to like me for me. They don't improve on themselves. A lot of them just don't want self-improvement, or they think everything about themselves or everything they change about themselves has to be changed for them. In the long run, it is. You want the relationship to work out. You want it to last longer. You want that guy to ask you to marry you. In a way, those changes that you make at his request are for you. They are for you. You don't need short hair to be happy. You don't need a nose ring to be happy. It's not like the guy's asking you to never see your family again. Learn to sacrifice. Guys love that, which leads us to the second thing, the second misconception. Guys care about how pleasant you are. They care about how pleasant you are. They care about your character, just like the first thing. More than your degree, more than money, more than just about anything you can achieve. A guy loves a woman who wears a smile on her face, who comforts him when times are going bad, who supports him, emotionally and mentally, who says, hey, that's a dumb idea. I think it's a dumb idea, but I think you can do it, and I'm here for you. And she does everything in her power to try to help that guy get to where he wants to be or needs to be. Because usually when the guy succeeds, you both succeed. And let's just say that when it comes to things like character, another thing is just women are taught that a lot of the time, guys want a woman who is similar to him, who likes to do the things that he does. They like, oh, guy likes football. He wants to meet a girl who plays football and likes football. A guy likes basketball, same thing. Any sport. Or a guy likes video games. Maybe I should play video games. Maybe I can meet a guy who plays video games. No, ladies, I'm just going to throw that out. What guys really want or really enjoy. It doesn't, I mean, it's a good thing if he meets you and you already like the same stuff he likes, but what a guy values above that, and this just goes for the pleasant and the character part, is when a woman is willing to learn his hobbies, when a woman is willing to give his hobbies a chance. Because the guy sees that and he thinks, wow, this woman is willing to sacrifice for me her time. She's willing to learn my hobbies. She's willing to learn about me. Guys, the number one thing guys love is sacrifice. Because their entire lives, our entire lives, we are taught that we need to sacrifice for our families. We're taught we need to sacrifice for our country. We're taught we need to sacrifice for the person we're in a relationship with. We need to sacrifice for our children, our wives. You know, that goes back under the family thing. We're taught that a man's duty is to sacrifice. And they'll tell you, you know, they'll say it in all different sorts of ways, but at the end of the day, it's a man sacrifice. That is his ultimate thing, that a man has to sacrifice. And when he meets a woman who's willing to sacrifice for him, you realize, or he realizes, that that might be his girl. It gives us a feeling that you never really feel when it comes to dating and whatnot. I'm not saying that guys don't do women wrong who are sacrificing all the time. That's just a crappy guy. So, ladies, this does not mean you don't have to assess the guy's character and look at the guy. We'll do a video about what women or misconceptions men have about women, but we'll do that one after this one. Next, it's proximity. Don't let people, these dating coaches or anybody else you talk to, tell you that men only want women who are just as qualified or make just as much money as them. That is baloney. Guys, usually when you see a lawyer dating a lawyer, or a doctor dating a doctor, or a doctor dating a nurse, or something like that, it's usually because they happen to be around each other or work around each other. Ask them their story. Two lawyers didn't meet online and think, oh yeah, you're a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, this is going to work out great. No, they probably met in passing, or at the office, or at the hospital, or at the practice. It's proximity. These people guys will date any woman who's around them that they can get familiar with, and they meet some of the other qualifications. They're pleasant. They have good character. You don't have to be this high earner. And I'm sure any ladies listening to this, or any guys listening to this, can recall somebody in their life who is dating a girl and that girl has nothing going for herself. But she looks good and she's pretty. Like, she's just pretty. But it's not about, ladies, it's not about degrees and how much money you make. The average guy does not care about either of those things. He will take care of you if he can. And the last thing, ladies, you have to learn, and you can take this how you want, but I'm just speaking for the average guy. You have to learn how to be player two. People say, oh, relationships are partnerships and we're equals and we decide everything or whatever. No, guys want someone who is willing to be player two, right? Why, if you have two people doing the same jobs, why do they want to be together? If I'm let's put this a different way. If I'm in charge of pulling the weeds in the garden, and every time I go to pull the weeds out of the garden, you're already there pulling the weeds out of the garden, or I get there and pull the weeds out of the garden, you come find me later and say, hey, I was supposed to pull the weeds out of the garden. Or you say, hey, thanks for pulling the weeds out of the garden. I'm thinking, okay, well, what are you going to do? or, hey, that's my job. So, like I was saying, guys, just like I said with the second thing, with the pleasantries and character, guys want a woman who will be player two. Let's say things, just whenever you think about what guys want. Usually when somebody is telling you what guys want, they say things like they want a woman who's supportive, like I said earlier. A woman who's supportive. They want a woman who's going to bear his kids. He wants a woman who can cook. You know, he wants a woman who will let him be a man, or let him talk about, you know, his feelings every once in a while. Somebody who will be there in his most stressful times. This doesn't seem like your average partner. This seems like somebody who can, for lack of a better phrase, be his player too. This does not mean that you're less than him, ladies. This does not mean that you're under him. Anybody who tells you that is lying to you. This means that, at least in my case, this means that when it comes down to those big decisions, those big stressful decisions, such as, oh, hey, which electric company are we going to go with? Or, hey, you know, home alarms or whatever. But it all comes down to that guy making those the big stressful decisions, usually. And people try to disprove me and say, well, some guys aren't good in dealing with stress. That's cool. That's some guys. But most guys want to be in charge of the household. They want to be in charge of the household. This does not mean that you as a woman are a slave or anything. You can do whatever you want. But just when it comes down to those big stressful decisions, like what city are we moving to? If we're going to move to a different state, what do we want to do with the kids? How many kids do we want to have? Where do we want to send them? All that stuff. You might just refer to the guy. He'll really appreciate it. And if you don't believe me, take this and play it for a guy. And if he's got any balls, he will tell you the truth, and he will say, you know what? That sounds about right. That sounds about right. So let's just recap. Looks, how pleasant you are, your character, proximity, being around that person, and being player two, being able to just prop the guy up, you know, keep maintenance on him. You keep maintenance on your guy, he will take care of you like the perfect tool. He will keep maintenance on you. You just keep maintenance on him and make sure he's all right, and he will make sure everything that you need is okay. But go ahead, ask a guy about those things, and let's see if he tells you the truth. All right, guys, that's the video. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.